Okay, cool. So we're live. Just going to give it a minute, see if anyone joins, but this is my stock intro. I keep this hiding around. I'm actually in totally the wrong project, so I'll make sure I'm in the right project first. So we went to Temple Newsome. Let's get that open. Yeah, so let's just see if anyone joins in. Right, so one of the things that I do is have this little folder here called stock, where I keep my intro and outro. And the first thing I'll do for any project is right click on this, duplicate project as, and then this will create me a new project for me to start building a video from. So let's go back to the Temple Newsome one. So we've got some footage. I'm just going to drop a song in that I've just downloaded as well. I'm not sure if we're capturing audio from this, so I'll add the audio in as well in a minute. Let's have a look. Right, yeah, copy that in there. So that will just get copied in. You probably won't see that get copied in. I'll just change my audio as well. So we want audio input capture. Well, actually, I wonder if it, let's just see if we play some music, if it gets played. Yeah, that doesn't look like it's getting captured, so I'm going to see how I capture that as well. I'm getting spammed as well on Messenger, so if I go quiet, it's just because people are sending me messages. So let's see. Right, now I'm just trying to, I forgot to add the audio input, so I don't actually know how to add it, so it might just go quiet. Hopefully, let's see what goes on. Right. Yeah, a couple of people watching. Great. So one of the first things I do is, yeah, as I say, get my stock ready. I'm just going to check Google Drive to see if some of the files have turned up yet. They haven't, not yet. Okay. So I'm going to start by just having a quick look at some of the footage. I've got a really cool song. I'm not sure the song plays on the stream, so that's unfortunate, really. Just accidentally held down Alt as well. So let's see if I can get the whole of this. Oh, something's not working on my keyboard. Just got a sticky Alt key. Right, so we'll drag the music in. So it's like a bit of a running sort of rocky type thing. I've got the standard just scaling intro that just plays its normal thing. So one of the first things I'll do is just get the titles in, and then that'll give me the right space. So I'm just going to expand my timeline a bit, stick a blade in here so that when we trim this off we don't lose the music, so the music will attach. Final Cut Pro's got this magnetic timeline, so it's really useful that way. We're not going to bother with the normal exit music. We will keep the like button somewhere, so we'll just attach that to the front and drag it in the right place and get rid of that. So we want to do some titles first, and probably going to be lazy and just open up another project, copy the titles, go back into this project and paste those in. And thinking about it, yeah, I've started removing the intro from the action videos, so I need to remember that I did that and just bin that off. because we want it to just start. We don't want it to... We don't want people to be waiting around. Right, and they're all attached to that. Right, so we'll start with something that's just... I've got a shot somewhere where we're just crawling along. Yeah, and it'll need rotating because it's in the wrong aspect, but I'll sort that out. Right, put these titles... We'll sort the titling out in a minute. I'll try and get those two title boxes. Because they've got all the transitions in, they're being a pain. Right, move those over there. These are like fade in, fade outs for the titling. They're gone. So we'll drag this piece on. This is rotated the wrong way round, so I'm just going to do a... I should be able to just do a rotate. So I've made sure that I've got a 4K input source, so that if I get something wrong I can just scale it, and then I think that's nearly there. That's close enough. So that's just transformed and rotated that piece that was filmed in the wrong way. Let me know in the chat if you can't hear the music. Cool. I don't know how to sort that out. Alright, cool. Just checking to see how I can try and capture the sound. So we're going to leave that to play. That's a nice long clip. It's really nice how it catches up with James's truck and then follows it along a bit. I might actually trim that, and what I'll do is just cut that out. So now when it plays, so we can just see his truck coming into view. All I'm going to do is try and set the music so that, try not to delete the music. I'm going to try and set the music so that just as the music kicks in, we start to see his truck. There we go. So that fades in nicely. Not sure if the music's picking up, but we'll see. I wonder if I can just route my desktop audio. Right. Can't get OBS to capture my desktop audio, so you'll just have to trust me that there's lots of good music and I'll just talk over it. So we're chasing the trucks up. I'm going to leave this in there because it tapers off quite nicely, but what I'm going to do is do the same as the new Millerdam video and chop this into several segments as a bit of a chase scene. So I managed to capture James's truck quite nicely, so I'm going to drop that in and chop that into different segments as well. But the first thing I'm going to do is just get to the point where the truck is moving, and yeah, that's cool. So he went through the tunnel. Yeah, we both went through the tunnel in a similar way, but I want to get his truck featured as well. We definitely want a bit of my truck rolling over, so I'm just going to hold down Alt and drag a range of my truck falling over. Although annoyingly the camera seems to switch white balance halfway through. I'll see if I can sort that out in a minute. Just drag that on. I'm not sure how much people on YouTube care about white balance. Cool. We'll have a bit more of it flopped on the ground. Great. Got anything cool? Bouncing around. So I'm just going through the footage. I kind of try and pick out the ones where it's actually doing something vaguely interesting. Yeah, they're always good shots, little climbing shots. And all I'm doing is just chucking them onto a timeline until I fill out enough of a timeline that I can start editing it down. So the song's about 4 minutes, 3 minutes long. So I want about 3 or 4 minutes of footage. So I'm just going to grab. I'm actually going to grab the whole thing there if it lets me, and just edit that one down. Yeah. Try to film the clips so that they vary. This one just needs trimming down to where there's a bumper. Right there, that's where it's moving. People have a very short attention span on YouTube, so if you're still watching this right now, thank you very much. But yeah, I'm just trying to make sure that we've got enough footage. See if we're doing anything particularly interesting. No, truck upside down, people walking around. Does the truck do anything cool? No, completely framed that badly. Oh yeah, coming up these stairs was interesting. Yeah, we'll just grab the last bit of that. Yeah, did a good job of going down there as well, so we'll grab that. And we've already got ourselves to 5 minutes of video, but we don't want to make this a very long video. We do want it zooming through the mud, because that was fun, so that needs to stay in there. And then we'll trim out all the audio, so let's take a look at the start again. Right, we want to retitle this, so these titles are wrong, so it's, oh no, what have I done? Just tried to type and I was on the wrong window, right. Temple Newsome, and it was 22nd of October today. I've been a very lucky boy and managed to get out a couple of times this week. Right, just drop someone a message. And we'll do a fancy fade in over that bit soon enough. I'm going to try and route my computer audio as well, just to see what we can catch. Audio input, everything, device, default. No, that doesn't work, right. I'll work it out another time. Right. So I need to start trimming this so it fits in with the video. So that's easily done. So we'll make sure we get the start bang on first. So we'll remove that transition. And we'll just have about 1 second at the start of the video, if I get that right. Okay. Right, so what I'm doing is there's like a whistle at the start of the song where someone sort of whistles in, and I'm just trying to find the edit point of where it sort of kicks in properly. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm just finding the point on this video where the song kicks in. I'm going to drag on an effect, which is a lookup table, which is a custom lookup table. I'm going to pop it onto this, and then on that custom lookup table I'm going to put a keyframe in, which is 100%. Then I'm going to come back to here at the start, and I'm going to add another keyframe, which then allows me to transition. So I can now set my LUT, which I'm going to use a bit of a crazy one. So it's going to fade in the wrong way because I've got my keyframe wrong. So it's going to fade from colour to black and white. So I'm going to go back to the start, back to the end, set the LUT to nothing, and then go back to the start and set it to 100%. And then what will happen now is it will fade in that LUT. And the LUT is a lookup table that changes all the colours and adjusts them. Ah, someone's sending me some video. I might do a second video with their footage as well. So now that's faded in. That's great. I'm just going to whiz the titles across. We're just going to jump cut the titles for now, not bother fading them in or anything else. So that's cool. The like button will drag somewhere else. We'll just have a look. So now the music's kicked in, which is about here. The sort of whistling of the song goes over. So what I'm going to do is break the footage up into different loops based on that phrasing. So here is one point. I'm going to cut it. I'm going to keep cutting it along where those phrases are. So I'm just listening for those phrases, and it should, if it's following proper music theory, should actually be roughly about the same length for each one. So the first one is 8 seconds 15, the second one is 8 seconds 14, and then we'll end up chopping it about every 8 seconds, which will be interesting. Okay, so we chop that up a little bit and we've got that moving along. So every 8 seconds is where we're going to jump cut to something else. So then I'm going to find one of these other ones and move that into where we started with and repeat that process. Okay, so that's cut, and then so I'm just cutting those in. I can tidy these cuts up in a bit, so I'm just listening to the music again. So now we've got that chopped up into roughly 8-second segments. This one's up in 8-ish second segments. I might have actually cut this one a bit smaller. I'm just going to grab some of these other parts and mix them in. That's not actually a very good shot, so I'm just going to hide that for now. Yeah, that's just going to be a quick interlude. So all I'm going to do with this one, because it's 11 seconds long, I'm just going to trim the end off it. I'm also being told there's a new version of Java available which is interrupting my editing. So I'm just taking this down to around about that golden value of about 8:15. So I actually didn't trim the start off that, so I'm going to trim the start off and it'll go into dual window. I'm just waiting until it moves and then I'm just dragging the end to make sure everything's moving. Cool, so that's kind of working. I'm liking that, so I'm going to start interlacing these different shots so we get a couple of continuity running shots. Sorry, I'm losing my voice a bit. I'm just going to keep fading them into each other and blending them along, and we've got this lovely video of me driving along a bridge, and then we've got some other stuff here. Final Cut's lagging a bit, so that's interesting. What I'm going to do is, why is that not following anymore? There we go. I accidentally turned that off. Right, so that's the chase sequence. So we want to put the bridge. Probably just need to trim that slightly. That's good. So I've trimmed the bridge so that it moves straight away. And then what I'm going to do is use one of these others as a template to chop the 8 seconds out. And then what I'll do is I'll check all the edit points and adjust stuff to meet the music. But essentially we just need it at this point to just get the sequence chopped up, and then we interlace all these sequences, and instead of having to endure the same long sequence all the way, it can constantly change over the music. So we're just moving along, and then we're going back up the hill, which then means we need another bridge. So then we're going back up the hill, bridge, then we want a bit of an interlude, which will be that one where I fall over. I'll turn that back on. Take that down to about 9 seconds. Well, in fact, I'll take the bit where it falls over because, you know, need a bit of light entertainment. And then, where are we? Run along the bridge. Back to there, back to there. Interlude. And we want going back up the hill still. Back in the water. Running along the bridge. And then probably need to find some more footage and interlace that. So yeah, so it's going pretty well so far, so we'll just have a quick watch. Just checking it for pacing. It's nicer for me because I get the music. Unfortunately, the music's not coming through on the stream, but this is kind of roughly fitting into what the music is. There we go. So that's still going. And it's off by a few seconds, but it's mostly fitting quite well. It's sort of drifting longer and longer, so I think it's slightly shorter than 8 seconds it needs to be, but we'll sort that out in a bit. Okay, great. So we're going to stick this interlude into here, and again we'll use one of these, chop it to about, you probably already guessed, chop it to about 8 seconds, and just keep moving these along. The beauty of this method is you keep your edits short, and you can always just add a fraction of a second either end if you need to add some footage back in. Oh, just change the volume on that one. And when I watch it back, I'm also listening out for if we were talking over the top of it, because that can be a bit weird sometimes when you're watching one of these videos and you hear all the motors and the lovely whiny electric motors, but you probably don't want to listen to people just chatting on the trails. Here we go, right, okay. So that's good. And then a bit more. Did I include that in the first time? Oh, that wasn't very interesting, that one. Is that one any better? Yeah, we'll put that one in there instead. Cool, we're coming to the end, so I also need to start editing these steps, trying to see if there's any sort of super interesting bits here. I think I got really stuck at the end, so that was just wiggling the truck in the face with the camera. Yeah, trim the end off there. We've got James's good attempt at getting down into the bog, trimmed his crash off the end. Oh yeah, we need the launch as well. Definitely want the launch video. Get that clip in there somewhere, where it just launches off with the new brushless system, full pelt, and launches off a tree. That might go in the outtakes at the end. So where are we up to with our composition? So I've got bits of bridge, bits of interlude. I think I'll start chopping up these steps, so we'll use this as a template to chop it up. It's all a bit of a manual process. I'm really sorry that you can't hear the music as well. I will try and fix that for the next time. I was sat here and thought I may as well just force myself to talk through the thought process to help me with my editing. Okay. pop that back in there. I think probably the later ones are better. So yeah, we'll skip that first one and then go back and see where we're at. So we've got going up the hill, down into the water, random interlude, more water. So I've got those in the wrong order. Drag that back over. Hill, water, something. Want the interlude in there. Find that hill again. Hill, water. And we've got the bridge. So I'm just looking through to try and work out where I'm at with the edit. So hill, water, interlude, then I want the bridge. Hill, water, interlude. I want that bit of bridge. And then I'm just trying to work out how I weave in these steps. So I'll do the steps after each bridge. And we've got the launch video somewhere. So I'm just whizzing through to try and make sure that there's lots of movement. Right. I want a bit more of going up that hill, so I'm going to put that in after the steps. Don't think I've got any more of the water. Yeah, run out of the water, so then we'll put the bridge because it comes launching back. Trying to find nice shots now. So it comes launching back. Then we want this one where it's all up in your face. Yeah, I'm going to put that flip in the end. Let's put some longer shots in. In fact, I'm going to trim this just for the defender. Pop that in. So that goes launching off. There you get to the top of the hill. Put the launch in. Just kill out those other ones. And then I think I've got the video pretty much edited. So right. Great, that's perfect. So That's most of the editing done in terms of getting the right clips. Now it's time for me to do the audio part, where I'm going to try and sync everything to the audio. I'm going to get rid of the other clips. Judicious editing. James has been amazing and sent me a load of footage. I'll do another one tomorrow. Right, so it's just a case of syncing all this up. We're going to drag the like button to... I don't want it to be in the way of the truck when the truck launches. So I'm just going to be cheeky and put it there. Because the eye should have been dragged already because of the movement. Right, so now I've just got to do the slightly tedious task of syncing it up to the music. Yeah, so I just need to tweak a bit of this. Yeah, it's just slipping, but it's one of those tracks that's really hard to work out where it's slipping. I will obviously upload the track and you'll be able to hear the music. There we go, so we're just trimming it off. I've actually, as I listen to the music, I can hear there's a double bass hit at the start of every phrase, so I'm just listening out for a bang bang, and then that's where I do my cut on the first bass hit. And the reason for that is if you do the cut on the kick, then it helps the brain, because the brain hears the kick and then it cuts. Now YouTube actually puts in about a frame of lag, so I'm making sure that it cuts just before the kick. So actually when it syncs together, you'll have the visual change and then the musical change, and as the brain is catching up to the music, it really helps out. So I'm actually shortening this to fit in. Yeah, it's much easier now I've found that double hit. So we're nearly there. Just finding my cut points. With this one I normally do flows, and flow is a way of optical flowing between the two frames, but for this one I think I'm just going to go with hard jump cuts because the music's actually soft enough that it shouldn't be too jarring. Yeah. It's even got to the point that I can see the peaks of the bass drum in the music now. They're just where my cursor are. Or not, miss them. There we go. Move that the wrong way, move that by a frame. Right, nearly there. Sorry I keep going quiet, just trying to find those bass kicks. Now I'm just starting to edit with the flow of the music rather than being absolutely on the phrasing. Yeah, that's great. So it's just a really quiet bit in the music at the moment, so I'm just letting the same clip play. And it's just starting to build up, so I'm just making sure it cuts at the right point. There's not really any percussion. So we can extend this out now as it fades away. I've actually ended up with slightly too little footage. So I need to work out how to pad this out without ruining it. So what I think I'll do is, on that final stretch, I'll get these little launches through the water in there and just see how they look. Obviously it helps if the vehicle's actually moving. That's good. So we're just going to put these in quick succession. So we're just going to find where it shot out of frame, find where it came back into frame, cut that together. And then that's playing the final phrase of the song. Bit hesitant on the throttle there, and we'll have to put a flow in just to make that jump a bit less aggressive. And then we'll put in James falling into the water. We'll cut out the pensiveness and just get him moving straight down. Right, where is he? About there. So just bring that back down to there. See if we can get it to flip over and make sure that fits. So he falls over. And then we'll edit this so it just launches. There we go. And at the end, there's just a little bit of audio that just goes, "Oh dear." Now I'm going to go through the rest of the audio and just compress it. So, well, I'm not even going to bother compressing it. I'm just going to set it to about -20 decibels. So you can hear the trucks, but they're not. In fact, no, I'm just going to zero out all their noise because we don't really care about electric motors. At least I hope no one cares about electric motors. If you love the sound of an electric motor, fair enough. Right, okay, and pop on the end, just the usual end screen thing. We'll go with a 10-second end screen. It's just blank for the end screen. And then, because it's all filmed off an iPhone, there's not a lot I can do in terms of colour grading. I'm just going to select them all and just have Final Cut try and balance the colour. So it'll do its best to just try and find the best white balance. It's just processing that in the background. And then I'm going to put an adjustment layer on. This adjustment layer allows me to just apply a LUT across everything. I want it to be underneath my titles, underneath my like button. And then what I tend to do is just use one of the LUTs, the lookup tables. And this is like, it's a bit like an Instagram filter. So I'll pop that colour table on. I'm going to go to the parameters, select What am I going to go for? Oh, I'm just going to go for Film Poets. I quite like Film Poets. So I'm not going to have it very strong. It's only going to be about 0.1. But I am going to do something weird. I'm going to screw with the colour input that it's expecting and the colour output. So if I put this to 100%, you'll see that it's actually making it quite dark. And what I want to do is just use it to add a bit of contrast to the whole video. So that will be it 100%, and generally it looks okay. I'm really not fancying colour grading all of these. I'm hoping my new phone will sort all of this out. But what I'm going to do, actually, let me just see if I can get it. Yeah, there we go. I was doing it the wrong way around. So that adds like a ridiculous contrast, but when I put that down to 0.1, it just livens the whole video up and just adds in the contrast that we lost because of the lighting. And yeah, I mean, some of the lighting was really nice and some of the lighting was just a bit poor. So shots like this have come out absolutely brilliantly because there's lots of natural light. Yet the ones in the forest as it was getting darker aren't the best until you get the car right in the camera's face. And that is pretty much it. To upload it to YouTube, I am going to wait until it's done whatever it needs to do. So it's just doing some rendering now. I'm just going to let it render because then it exports faster. And we will render the whole thing down and upload it to YouTube and do some fancy titles. But I'm going to do all of that offline, because while it's uploading to YouTube, I'm going to go and get a cup of tea and go and see how my wife's doing. I think she's been watching some of this, and so it won't be a surprise when I turn up downstairs. But that was a reasonably short stream of how I edit a video. And actually, because of the amount of editing there, it's lots of footage compressed down to about 3 minutes. That's probably the longest edit that I've got to do. For the more informational videos, the beauty of those is it's only 2 or 3 shots or 2 or 3 camera angles, so you just edit them down pretty quickly. But yeah, all in all, quick hour of how I edit a video. I might do another one of these at some point and try and make sure that you can get the scrobbling audio effects. If you've got any questions, chuck them in the comments. If you're not already a subscriber, please subscribe, and please like this stream if you've enjoyed it. Otherwise, have a fantastic evening and thank you for your time.